Hey, look at me, I finally did it. I made the second and the last part of this awful series. Well, let's get it over with, shall we? We're going in alphabetical order, starting with the King's Rod. Watch the first episode if you haven't already, and as always, I'm GioSDA, subscribe if you hadn't, etc. King's Rod. The King's Rod is good for rodding kings and queens of various nature, however, more often than not, you'll wish it was grappling hook instead. Knockback 10 Slime Ball. The Knockback 10 Slime Ball is an item that, surprisingly, used to be in regular Skywars. However, it was removed. I can't imagine why. Leggings of El Dorado. Like most El Dorado items, these leggings are just overpowered. Not an instant game winner, but pretty good. Although the lit boots are protection 5 boots, you're better off not wearing them. Lighting a fire wherever you go isn't a very good deal, especially since these boots don't give you fire protection of any kind. Lucky Chest, or Lucky Blocks. Normally insane or crazy Lucky Blocks. Lucky Dragon. Lucky Dragon is a fun item to spice things up in the game, however you probably won't even notice that you've gotten it until your own dragon hits you into the void. Magic Toy Stick. A Magic Toy Stick is a stick that, like the bedwars victory item, shoots an explosion wherever it's aimed. It's very good for taking out bases early, and with enough fall protection, can even be used to escape from PvP. Manitou Boots. The Manitou Boots are boots that have about every enchant in the game, including protection, feather falling, probably whatever else the devs thought they could add. They're good boots, but definitely worse than the disco boots for early game items. Melon Launcher. The Melon Launcher is good if you like to throw watermelons at people. Even if you don't like throwing watermelons at people, it's good for long-range combat if you don't have a bow of any kind. I've genuinely never seen the mimic work on someone. It's surprising, considering that an ender chest looks just like a regular chest. Musical Sheep. Variety of multicolored sheep that are musical. They normally flood your island before you can do anything about it and are exceedingly annoying. Mystery Eggs. Same as in the Skywars kit, the Mystery Eggs summon random mobs. They're just about as useful here as they are there, but that doesn't mean they can't set up some pretty funny kills. Ninja Mode. Ninja Mode is just invisibility with a cool name. I'm not sure why this took me so long to figure out, but people can still see your armor in Ninja Mode. It's not that useful unless you intend on taking all fights naked. Nuke Targeting Device. This item is probably the most fun in the entire game. You don't like someone? Target a nuke to blow up their island and the other 5 islands around it. It causes mass destruction, especially when targeted in the middle. This item can completely change a game and is so much fun to wield. 1 Pound Fish. You know the Knockback 10 Slime Ball? Imagine that, but instead of being good, it's not. 1 Punch Bow. Despite being named 1 Punch Bow, it actually has 2 punch. This infuriates me to this day. Devs, please fix. OP Potion. This potion is basically just a potion that gives you every single good effect you can think of. Obviously, it's all fun and games until you splash the potion and it gives you levitation. This has happened to me multiple times. Paintballs. Paintballs are good for if you like to release your inner Skywars sweat onto someone. Pig Tower. It is a tower of pigs. They are trying their hardest. Piglet Bazooka. For many years, I underestimated this item. Originally, I thought this item was awful. However, recently, this item has been revolutionized to me. If you shoot this item at your feet, it shoots you into the air more than you can possibly imagine. It's a fireball jump on steroids. This item is truly the best in the game. Pit. This is a good thing to get if you hate playing. The best way to avoid this is to open Lucky Blocks at distance. Plus 4 hearts. Plus 4 hearts unexpectedly gives you 4 extra hearts. It's very epic, and I've gotten 3 of these in a game once. I lost. Power Punch Bow. Like the regular bow, but with power and punch. Spectacular. Rage Armor. Rage Armor is red leather armor that gives you plus 50% attack damage. It's much worse than almost any other chestplate in terms of defense, but you know what they say. The best defense is a good offense. Railgun. This item is good for close quarters combat, assuming you don't have a sword for whatever reason. Reaper Scythe. This item functions as a sword, except instead of dying when they die, they get reborn as a zombie, which functionally does nothing. Remote Zombie Invasion. The Remote Zombie Invasion takes the form of a single snowball which you can throw at an island in order to summon a horde of zombies. This item is especially fun when you get it in the first 15 seconds. Rush Pearl. The Rush Pearl is a pearl that you can ride on. It's very good for recovering from a fall, and you can even chain multiple together at once. Shotgun. The shotgun is very good in close range, however, at anything more than 12 picometers, it does basically nothing. Silverfish Egg. This item is similar to the Remote Zombie Invasion, however your chances of getting it at the start of the game are 100 times higher. Soul Sand Explosion. Yet another one of the bad items, the Soul Sand Explosion explodes and leaves soul sand and removes all the lucky blocks you've placed. Pretty cool. Speed 4. You can probably guess what this rule does. Speedster Boots. Speedster Boots are boots that, when worn, give you speed too. They're very good for rushing and can get you out of sticky situations. Flatcraft Boots. Imagine Speedster Boots, but instead of Speed 2, it's Speed 1. And also, they actually give you protection. Splitter Slime. Oh no. Stasis. Affect every player with stasis for 10 seconds. You can use this to your advantage if you have any kind of ranged weapons to get some free kills. Stick of Truth. Reveals any nicked player once you hit them. This has never worked once for me, or anyone else for that matter. It's mostly just your last resort if you don't have a melee weapon. Stink Leggings. Wearing stink leggings is a trade-off. On one hand, anyone who gets too close to you will be poisoned. On the other, your screen is filled with particles to the point where you can't see. Super Dice. Super Dice is a regular dice with 6 sides. You roll it with right-click. If you roll a 1, you die immediately. If you roll a 2, you lose most of your health. If you roll a 3, you get 2 extra hearts. A 4 or 5 grants you a sword, and 6 gets you full diamond armor. Considering 2/3 of the options are positive, you'd think it'd be a good idea. It's not. It never is. Superstar. 15 seconds of invincibility. This is exactly as overpowered as it sounds. Swap with random player. Once you get this, your best bet is to jump into the void and hope that you can get a kill that way. The Sword of El Dorado is quite possibly the best sword in the game. It has fire aspect and does the most damage out of any sword. It's basically a guaranteed win if you're good at PvP. Sword of Justice. Similar to the Angeriel, the Sword of Justice is a sharpness 2 iron sword. However, slightly worse in that, instead of granting speed and resistance, it heals on hit. You may think it's better, but in my opinion, which is objective, it's not. Teleport to random player. Same as swapping, except instead of jumping in the void, you pray you have a good melee weapon. And the Devil's Contract. The Devil's Contract is a book which, when opened and agreed to, you get a diamond sword and 16 pearls. You have 1 minute to win the game from that point, and if you don't, you die immediately. This would be amazing if you didn't take damage from pearls, but you do, so it's not very good. The Force. The Force is an end portal frame, which, when right-clicked, flings everyone near you roughly 500 blocks into the stratosphere. The Golden Child. The Golden Child is a horrible monster that attacks anyone on sight, however is relatively easy to deal with as long as you have some sort of weapon. It's similar to an actual child. The Spoon. The Spoon is genuinely one of the best melee weapons in Lucky Block Skywars. It's a shame it has such low durability because it's better than the Iron Sword in terms of damage, once again proving that the Spoon is mightier than the sword. The Stick. You know the Knockback X Slime Ball? Imagine that, but decent. Throwable TNT. A good ranged weapon, however, it leaves much to be desired in terms of range. It can't even be shot from mid to an island, which makes it not that great. TNT Cube. Cube of TNT that has roughly 2 to 3 seconds for you to break all the TNT before detonation. Good luck. TNT Launchpad. Basically a glorified building block. TNT Rain. TNT Rain is one of the more lackluster rules, doing exactly what the name implies. Tree. What does it sound like? Triple HP, the worst OP rule. I hate this with every fiber of my being. Upgrade Book. The Upgrade Book is a book that, when right-clicked, adds 2 layers of protection to every armor piece you have. It's arguably one of the best defensive items in the game, as it can turn any kind of decent armor piece into one of the best. The Villagers. The Villagers are basically useless. They serve the same purpose as the Rainbow Sheet, which is nothing. Void Charm. The Void Charm takes the form as an enchanted bedrock block. While it can be placed down and will be treated as normal bedrock, it's much better used for its intended purpose. When you're just about to die to the Void Charm will activate and send you flying back up to the surface. Vomit Bagel. The Vomit Bagel is a passable melee weapon. You can actually use it. It gives the opponent nausea, however it leaves much to be desired in terms of damage. Water and Boots. I didn't know what to call this, but it's exactly what it sounds like. It summons a lot of water and gives you Depth Fighter boosts to go along with it. Water Balloons. The Water Balloons are a good concept in theory. You slow a water balloon and it summons a water source where thrown. However, the actual motion of the water balloon is kind of terrible, so it can't be thrown more than 10 blocks. Wither Blasts. The Wither Blasts take the form of a blaze rod, which, when right-click, shoots out the Wither Blast. This item is nothing special. It gives your opponent the Wither effect, which I guess is cool. Wolf. Wolf gives you a dog. Misleading name, really. Hooden Sword. Unironically better than most of the other weapons here. Still not as good as a spoon, though. And finally, Zombie Army. The Zombie Army is an army of zombies that immediately summons on top of you. They're fun to have around until they inevitably pick up your armor pieces or block your rush pearls. And that's it. I hope you're happy. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you get notified of my uploads, which happen once every 2 years. Thank you. Good night.